rise.
The Kosovo Specialist Chambers is now in session.
Be seated, please. Madam Court Officer, you may please call the case.
Good morning, Your Honors. This is KSC BC 2020-06, the Specialist Prosecutor versus Hashim Thaçi, Kadri Veseli, Recep Selimi, and Jakub Krasniqi.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. Today, we will conclude the testimony of witness 04586. I note that Mr. Thaçi, Mr. Veseli, Mr. Salimi, and Mr. Krasniqi are all attending the hearing via video link, having waived their right to be present and provided the written consent pursuant to Rule 96, Sub 2. Before I invite the witness in, there's one matter that needs to be dealt with. This will be an oral order on the extension of time to respond to SBO's second Rule 155 motion. Yesterday, the Krasniqi defense sought an extension of time to respond to the SBO's second Rule 155 motion. Any comment on this, Mr. Prosecutor? Or Madam Prosecutor?
No.
No? Okay. Mr. Laws, anything to comment on?
No, thank you.
Mr. Thaçi's defense?
No, Your Honor, we
All
support
right,
the
anything
application.
from the Veseli defense?
Nothing.
Just to support, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything, Mr. Ellis or Ms.
Your Honor, I'm happy to address it further if it would assist, but
It's complete. It's on file. The panel therefore extends the time limit for any responses to the SBO's second Rule 155 motion to 20 days from the distribution of that motion. This concludes the oral order. Before we bring the witness in, is there anything?
Yes, Your Honor. With regard to the cross-examination of this witness, we've been consulting, and of course we consulted this morning and with our colleagues, and I think collectively at this point, none of the defense teams are going to cross-examine this gentleman. And I have to tell you, Judge, that decision came as a result of us observing the witness yesterday. We were prepared to do a cross-examination, if you will, but I thought we made this decision, and I think collectively we made a decision and everybody's not going to cross.
We understand and have no argument about that. We will ask the witness to come in. We will have a couple of questions for him just because he's here, so that he understands that we were involved in this matter, and so we'll do that at this time. Anything else? Anybody? Okay. Madam Usher, please bring the witness in. Good morning, witness. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Today we will continue with your testimony. I remind you that you are still under an obligation to tell the truth, as stated by you in your solemn declaration yesterday. Please remember to speak into the microphone and wait 5 seconds before answering a question, and then speak at a slow pace. If you feel the need to take breaks, please make an indication and an accommodation will be made. The attorneys have indicated that they have no questions for you today, having read your statement. But some of the judges have questions for you. So we will do that at this time. First of all, Judge Mitro.
Your Honors, if I may, just for the record, to confirm that in at the remote location present are witness W04586, which is staff member, and myself, court officer.
Thank you, Court Officer.
Thank you, Judge Smith, and good morning, witness. I have carefully read your statement, and I have what I hope is a simple question. After the events that you described, the taking away of your brother and the events surrounding it, did you try to report to anyone what had happened to your relatives?
Yes.
And could you tell us to whom you sought to report these events?
in my home. And if I were to tell the whole story, this would take a long time, because they also came into my house to kill us at 2 o'clock in the morning. It was cold. There was fog, no electricity. They told my brother, because they initially couldn't identify my house, so they first went to my brother. And the daughter of my brother heard them jumping over the wall. My brother grabbed his Kalashnikov, leaning against the door. And that individual there fired shots inside the house. And immediately at that very moment, my brother loaded his Kalashnikov and fired back. He hit the individual in his hand, cutting off 2 of his fingers. And the wounded person replied, "Oh, you killed me." We did not know what was going on, because I was constantly guarding my house, every corner of it in the courtyard. So that individual said, "Oh, you killed me." But he was not alone. He was accompanied by many other individuals. Around the house were many other people with him. But they used him, and because he was unknown, and they positioned him to guard the wall. So they asked him to go inside, and my brother wounded him, cut off 2 of his fingers. We wanted to leave the house in the next morning. We saw the 2 fingers on the ground in the yard. They had left, but we followed the traces of blood and could determine that he went up to the top of the village. Yeah. When leaving the village, we couldn't go any further. These people were staying in another village close by.
For your explanation. Your evidence is before us in writing, and we've read it very carefully, and I have no further questions. Thank you, indeed.
Any follow-up questions?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
No.
None from us, Your Honor. Thank you.
No, Your Honor.
Witness, this concludes your testimony today. Witness, this concludes your testimony today. So you will be free to leave and go back home. And we thank you very much for being with us, for the statement that you made so that we
Thank you.
Thank you for the statement that you made so that we can understand your position on what happened to your brother and your sister, and we have taken note of all of that. So you are excused now, and thank you for coming. Madam Court Officer, you may escort the witness out.
Thank you very much to you all.
Tell me when it's off. Off. All right, the feed has been cut, so this is not a transcript. So thank you all. It's been an interesting time, and we have more ahead of us. Thank you for your presentations and cooperation and candor in the courtroom. I believe that's all I have. Anybody else have anything they want to say or do at this time? All right, thank you very much. We will reconvene at the end of the court break and start with 5 more witnesses. We're adjourned.
All rise.